Hello and welcome to another edition of Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, for those of you that joined us yesterday for that 15-hour marathon deep dive of Luminar 3, we're so glad you guys joined us. Now, today, Angela is taking off. We have my new co-host today, which will be filling in for Angela, Kevin LaRue. Hello, Kevin.
Howdy, everyone. I took in a number of hours of that broadcast yesterday, and it was fantastic. I thought I'd ask Vanelli to join in and show you some of my stuff today. I can't hear you or see you. I can't hear you or see you if you're trying to get a hold of me.
Kevin, now can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir. Yeah, well done. Thank you.
All right, so let's try this again.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so here we are. Thank you so much. Here we are with Kevin LaRue, Business Development Manager.
Hi, everyone.
Skylum. Great. So, Kevin, what is your job? What do you do for Skylum?
I talk to people and send emails every day, to be honest. No, as a business development manager, I talk to a lot of industry partners, certainly ambassadors and influencers. I tend to spend a lot of time working on partnership deals and trying to make sure that the good word of Skylum and Luminar is spread as far and wide as
It's so
possible.
cool because I'm going to see if I can switch. Yeah, you still got my mic.
There we
Hear
go.
me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're so cramped in there. Now, ironically, well, not ironically, but what was really cool is that your time off, you spent it with us yesterday answering and fielding questions, inside the chats. And what I think is really cool is
fun.
here you are, you're part of the business team, but yet you know Luminar, you're an avid photographer, and man, has your photography grown over the years. I'm really impressed with what you've done.
Yeah, we've known each other a long time, and having spent some time with the software, every iteration of software from Mac Fun time era, to the Skylum era, has been a real journey for me.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to jump in quick. I'm going to do a real quick. This is a beginner Friday or new artist Friday.
Oh, good.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a real quick demo, which you're going to laugh because it'll be one of my sports photos, not the kitten one that you think I should pay royalties to the cat for. But I'm going to do one for this image here, and then Kevin, I'll have you come in, and if you could queue up one of your images you want to share. All right?
Sure.
All right. So here, this is the sports grip that I developed. So here's before, here's after, but I want to show you how I developed it really quick. So I'm going to come over here under the adjustments. I'm going to revert to the original. So here's the original image, and it's a good image. It's a portrait. It's a sports portrait, but it's lacking that style that I created. So I'm going to click on the edit, and I'm going to show you how you can create that style real quick. Well, I'm going to come down. The first thing I want to do is enhance AI. So Accent AI is my #1 tool. That's going to improve color, detail, tone, and depth of an image. Then let's come down here to light. And what I want to do with light, because it's on a black background, I want to really bring the blacks in a little bit more. Look at that.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's making him jump from the screen. But Kev, this right here is my most absolute favorite tool that we've created, and that's the dramatic tool. Now, what I'm thinking is happening, you saw, well, let me reset it. So if it doesn't reset, you see what's happening here? Sure enough, look how many times I've edited this image. I'm going to go back to here. There we go. And now it should reset it for me. Yep, for this particular image, it's giving me a little issue. So let me try this here. It's the same image. Oh, you know what? It's a duplicate.
Ah.
So I have a feeling, I was trying to teach how you can edit multiple images. Yep, there we go. So I was getting confused on which one it wanted me to edit. So here we go. We got this. We got light.
Take those blacks down. That's great. Great technique.
And then my favorite tool, here it is. Look at this. So what's neat about this is if you click on the brightness and saturation, instead of it being brighter, I want to dial it back. And part of my grit look is the desaturation. It already did it. So instead of going to a positive value with the saturation, which that still looks good, I like to kind of go at a little negative, a negative value. Not too much, but just enough. And then we can really crank it up with the local contrast. Look at that. Before and after. Now,
that's cool.
Now here it comes. So that's just one simple tool. Because this is a portrait, well then you come down here to the portrait tools and just real quick pop a little face relighting. Eyes, we're definitely going to make his eyes really jump out. He has blue eyes, right? Yep. Bluish. Give it a second to refresh. And there doesn't seem to be, but he could have dark circles under his eyes. I could come over here and change the eye. Look at that.
Whoa.
I'm going to dial it back just a little bit. Pop a little lens flare under the eyes.
Wow.
Look at that. And
I don't think I use lens flare quite enough. That's impressive.
That's as if I were to put a reflector underneath and bounce light back into his face.
Oh, wow.
In this case here, skin, I really like, normally I don't do a lot of skin retouching on men. He's a child, so therefore I have no problem. And look what it's doing. It's keeping his freckles, but yet it's making sure the skin, not just on his face, but wherever there's skin, it's making sure it's being enhanced. And now, ready for this, Kevin? Here's the body. Instead of trying to shrink him, see if it does it. Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, no.
He wants, look at that. So,
he's got the body of a champion.
Yeah, so here's before. Give it a second. And after, there it comes. It's thinking, and there it is. So look at that. So I mean,
wow.
honestly, now you have girls, right? You don't have.
No, I have a son and a daughter. Yeah.
Yep, you have a son. So imagine did your sons play sports, or was that your daughter?
They both did. But nothing at the championship level this young man has.
Yeah, but look at this. Now to sell this image, what I mean by selling it, to stylize it further. Notice I put tape on his fingers. Not in this scene, but like for the football player, how we put all the dirt on him. We did do that,
that's
but
great.
not for this particular one. But I did put dirt on him, and the purpose of the dirt was to actually let the grit, or that dynamic tool that we use, dramatic tool, actually check out all the texture and just make it look even better. All right.
Yeah.
But overall,
let me just say that the edit that you've done is how that young man thinks of himself in his head.
Exactly. Oh, totally.
Bigger, tougher, stronger.
Awesome. All right, Kevin.
Nice
So I'm
job.
going to share your screen.
Okay,
All right. Oh, you want to
great.
put
Yeah, I'm
on?
popping over.
There we are.
Yeah, so this is, I'm by no means the professional shooter that Vanelli is here, but I like to shoot a variety of different images. What I'll do right now is I'll just choose my favorite photos, just so there's a little bit smaller catalog, and I'm going to do a couple of things here. If you'll permit me to do a few images, V,
Yep. Fire away.
I'd like to show a different bunch of different techniques. So this image, again, since this is a new user kind of a gig that we're on. One of the techniques I love a lot is selective color, but I don't like to overdo it. And what you're seeing here is um, the before shot, has a lot more color in it. And you see the brown muted tones, but the leaves aren't very bright. And then here's the after that I ended up with, which you might say that's not a black and white, and it isn't. It's a desaturated image with a little bit of selective color. So I'm going to go
Oh, I
into my
love
history
that.
palette here, and I'm going to go back to the original. So now I'm at the original image, and I'll go ahead and work through my editing sequence on this. What I often like to do, as with I think 99% of all Luminar AI users do, is just kind of open things up with accent a little bit, so you get again that evenness of tone and detail. And then I'm going to go straight into black and white. And I'll go ahead and convert it to black and white. But again, I had a vision of this thing when I was there shooting this. This is about 50 or 60 miles east of San Diego, where I live. I kind of like these green leaves there. So I'm going to go over to the saturation tab, and I'm going to pull that up, and you can see I can make those green leaves real green. But I am kind of going for kind of this matted look. I know that there's a little blue in the crest here, so I'm going to bring that back slightly. And I might just be done there. If I wanted to introduce a little bit of that wood tone, and I can bring some of that red back, but again, I'm kind of going for a muted image here. So there's the before, nice enough shot, very amateur compared to you. And
Oh,
there's
stop that.
my stylized view. Uh,
Oh,
let me step one more. I want to do one more picture here, and then if you
yes,
don't
yes.
mind,
I
yeah, I
love the
love this
backstory of this
shot.
shot. I love the backstory.
Yeah,
Show them what you were actually photographing originally.
yes, I was originally photographing this, and I'm up at the Los Angeles Union Station. It's the old train station in downtown LA, and I'm up there about 6:30 in the morning, maybe, because I didn't want a lot of people there. And I'm shooting this set of leather chairs. They're in beautiful shape, and this young lady right here is 5 feet away from me. You can see those chairs that I was shooting is right here. And she took an interest in what I was doing. She said, "Well, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm part of a photography class, and shooting the scenes here." And then I decided to ask her if I could take her picture, and she was delighted. And this is one of the first times I've ever just randomly asked a stranger if I could take their picture. So I actually got excited about this. So
So that's
let me
great
show
because
you.
you're showing new photographers. Hey, so don't be bashful. As long as you're not coming off creepy, or inappropriate, people would love to have their photos taken. Did you get to see this shot
Well,
after
I
you took
did.
it?
I got her email address, and I
Oh,
did send it to her. So I'm going to pop over here to the history panel again, V, and you can see I did a few things here to it, but I'm going to go back to the original, and you'll see where it was when I shot it. And I did want to kind of put her along the rule of thirds over there, and compose it the way I wanted it. But let me just walk through my editing steps here just a second. I'm just going to use accent a little bit. I
nice.
love the composition AI tool because it usually gives me a starting point. I might tweak it a little bit, but I knew I didn't want the distraction of these chairs off to the side here. So let me just go ahead and as I click that, you can see it it framed her face nicely. Now I don't like that white bar. I don't on the right. but I want a little bit more stretched out there a little bit. So I'm going to move her up just slightly. And, so that's kind of where I wanted the picture. I'll go ahead and click on the composition title bar to get that done. It'll apply it. And now I'm in the mode of kind of looking at the image and seeing what I want to do with it next. So in this case, I've already used Accent AI, but I really love her hair here. So I want to focus a little bit on that hair. I'll pull up the structure a little bit. I'll use some small details here. And I'm just, the image was started off as a little bit soft, so I don't mind using some small details here. But then I'm going to go into my...
Yeah. And we determined the reason why it was a little bit soft was you were shooting at a 50th of a second. So
Yeah, shooting at a 50th of a second, so that was not smart on my part. This is a 35-1.2, I believe, on my Fuji. So I'm gonna increase the vibrance a little bit. I'm just trying to bring out some more blue in her hair. So I might even come in here to the HSL. This is kind of a drop down, as you can see, as part of our color tool. And then I'll go ahead and amp up the purple a little bit. I don't want to make it too cartoony, but you can see it kind of popping up there. And so if I look at the before and the after, she's already really popping up a little bit. Really like that so far. And of course, you know where I'm going to go next, which is our fabulous portrait AI tools. I can't stop myself. She's got pretty good lighting coming in from this side, so I'm not gonna hit her too hard with the face light. But I do think we can enhance her eyes a little bit, and I'll go way over. You can see, boy. Let's see if you guys can. I'll zoom in here just a tick here, but the eye enhancer, is really going to bring out some of those details. And I haven't used the iris flare on this before, but I'll go ahead and use that too. See how that works. Oh yeah, it's kind of coming up there. And then I don't know. I'm liking that pretty much. I might whiten her eyes a little bit, but then we'll come down here to the mouth and just give her teeth, not too much, because she's got those really bright braces in there. So far, let's look at where we're at here. I might pop into the skin just a little bit. She's got some texture to her skin, so I might try to smooth that out a little bit. There's a nice shine on her nose there, so I'm going to use the shine removal tool and try to take that down a little bit. So we'll wait for Luminar to catch up just a touch, and then once that's done, I'll do a little before and after. So there's the before, here's the after. Okay, so now it's back again. So I'm liking this. It's pretty cool. She was certainly, really kind. This was not expected at 6:30 in the morning, and I might just finish this off with a little vignette, and we'll go from there. I usually like to drop the vignette down quite a bit. I know if people are familiar with the coffee breaks, you and Angela do that a lot, and I learned that from you. Increase the feathering, and then kind of bring that back just a little bit. I don't like to have people realize that I put too much of a vignette on there. And then I might just
notice
bump
the
up the
mode
interlight.
is post crop, right? Yep,
Mm-hmm.
perfect. Post crop is, and I'll show you why that's important in a moment.
Okay. Okay, great. So there's without and with. So anyway, bottom line, I'm loving where this picture is. I did a similar edit on it before I sent it to her, and I think she liked it.
Hey, could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
So double click
Sure.
on her again. Now, if you notice,
Okay.
because he did that post vignette, now go up to the crop tool.
Yeah, I'm bringing the image back in here. It's a nice little RAF. I am working on the raw file, so we'll give it just a second.
Funny because we forget to tell people. So imagine working on a raw file over the internet with all this other stuff, Zoom, or not Zoom, YouTube and Ecamm Live all running.
Yep, on a 4 or 5 year old Mac here.
Yep. It
So
should be ready.
she's yeah. Don't let me forget to put a budget order in for the new M1
Yeah.
MacBook Pro when it comes through. Okay, yeah. Hopefully the
Yep.
company will see the need for this. But you were going to talk about the
Yeah, go all the
difference
way to the
between
very
post
top.
and
So
pre-crop.
yeah, so because you go all the way, so we're gonna grab the crop tool. So move all the way to the top. Keep going. I mean,
Uh,
we're going to a different
you
tool
want
now.
to
Yeah, composition
go
AI.
here? Okay.
Yep. Now let see the original. Let change that to 16 by 9.
Okay, there's 16 by 9.
Great. So we're going
Wow,
to
that's cool.
emulate as if this was shot with a cell phone. But now I
Okay.
love cropping the head. So push her up so her hair is off the frame. A little more, a little
Mm-hmm.
more. Keep going. So now you get right about, oh, right there. Now, if
Okay.
you don't like that on the right hand side, you didn't like that little bar. Yep. So what you could do, or you can do that too. I was going to move it over, but that's easier. Yeah, right there. Now hit enter.
Okay. Wow, that's a nice. I like that.
Oh, see, I don't mind
Mm-hmm.
crap. You know what it is, Kevin? People like you that have a full head of hair and her like to show people. So maybe
Okay.
maybe
Gotcha.
that's the issue.
Gotcha. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. No, I like that. And yeah, when I'm in composition AI, I hardly ever go to this ratio thing, but I think going through there and experimenting pretty quickly would
Yeah.
be a good way to go. And I love the fact that for those of us who still use Facebook, we've got the cover and feed crops in there. That was a nice touch by the
Awesome.
engineers.
Yep. Hey, let me pop this up real quick. Yeah, our good buddy, 78 degrees film. Pop in your first name again. Um, he brought out a good point. He doesn't like the negative space behind the main focus of an image. And you know what?
Ah,
I'm glad you mentioned that because I just knew I didn't like it. Now that I didn't like it, it's not my style. Now
right.
he just kind of gave me the
Yeah.
reason why I don't like it. So thank you
Right.
for
So
that.
being tighter in on that subject kind of eliminates some of that negative space.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, granted,
That's a good tip.
if there's things in the background like I can't even think. You know, if there's things in the background, that's it, Jack. Thank you so much, Jack. Yeah. So there's things there's stuff over here behind me. Obviously, that stuff if it adds to the story, you keep it. If it doesn't add to the story, get rid of it. But man, I'm looking at it again. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you put your Luminar back on?
Absolutely. Hmm. And I like that
Oh,
crop.
look at that.
I felt like it was important, to kind of frame her
Yes, she
in the
is.
context of a train station or a
Yep.
place where there was a schedule up. But yeah, this is a little bit maybe too distracting. Um, but so great comment from the viewer
Oh yeah,
there.
that looks.
Great
Hey,
comment from the viewer.
yesterday, let's see if I can pull this back up again. There's Kev. There you are. There. Oh, there. Oh, I don't hit the wrong one. There we are. Jeremy Chan. In yesterday's deep dive. Oh my lord! When he did his portraits on location, he
Ridiculous.
oh my when he had so for those that didn't see it yesterday, and like my buddy Russ, welcome Russ is here. Russ was with us the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
several
He was a
people that were
marathon
there.
runner, Russ was. That was
Um,
fantastic.
so Jeremy Jeremy saw this French bike person on a bike coming up, and all of a sudden he was, I wonder how that would look. So he took a couple of shots and waited for the bike to come into the frame. Bip bip bip. He caught the shot. Here's the pre-engagement of the couple. Here's that bike. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I look to the left. There's the Eiffel Tower. And I said,
Right.
oh my God, they're in France. But
Yeah.
because he put that bike in there, it helped tell the story like, oh, here's just a couple out on a stroll. They stop for a kiss. The world is going on around them. Oh my God, they're in France.
That
So,
was a
but
nice
I thought,
revelation.
Oh yeah, I thought it was just genius. So, and for those of you that came out yesterday, thank you again. We have another deep dive 3, right, coming out in a few
Yeah.
months, because Boca AI is coming. So, and
Yeah.
I
It's going to
gotta
be
say,
fantastic.
Kevin, happy birthday, Kevin.
Thanks. Thank you. Yep.
So today is Kevin's birthday, and he's officially off, but he decided to come in and help out, and for that I really appreciate it. We got to get you on more, or well, next week. You know, I'm gone. I'm taking my first. Well, I'm taking my first week off in 2 years. However, I still have a meeting on Tuesday. I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to do coffee break with Angela, but you'd be a perfect fill-in with Angela.
Hey, I'm happy to help anytime. And in fact, I'm hosting a 2.5 hour live show with at the Kelby One Mobile Photography
Oh,
Conference on the 29th and 30th. We'll have our live broadcast break room, is what they call it, open on the 30th. And Rich Harrington's going to do a full-on demo, but Angela and I are going to be doing lots of tips and tricks
oh my God, it's gonna be awesome.
as well beforehand. Yeah, we're sorry to miss you, but you asked if I needed help, and I said, go have your vacation, man.
I know. I at first I said
You
yes,
deserve
and
it.
you said no.
I
You're
know.
off. I'm looking at this guy. No, you're taking the time off. So you know what I may actually do, Kevin? Because for those people, if you have Luminar AI, take advantage of insiders at insider.skylum.com. It's free. Join the insiders group. Think how many years I've been photographing, a photographer. A lot of people in those groups have inspired me to go out and photograph, ready for this, macro photography flowers. What the heck? You know, I'm used to controlling my scene. I'm used to controlling the athletes, doing what I want. With nature, yeah, you know, you have the wind blowing. There's so many things that's not in my power. So I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's going to be really cool to do that. And plus, we're going to be doing water drops. So
Oh
those are some
yeah,
other things. So
yeah.
next week, I want to take a look.
Don't forget the glycerin, by the way.
Yes, yep, I bought that. And my buddy Russell remembers there's another, oh, he loves saying the word. It's a powder that makes it very, very thick. I forgot the name
Oh,
of it.
I,
You
I
know,
don't I don't I don't I haven't used that trick yet.
yep. So I
But
can't wait. So it's more of a sabbatical for me to get out there and start photographing. And of course, if I'm going to go
mhm.
to these beautiful botanical gardens, I am going to bring a couple models with me. Erica, my little girl, I've been
Yeah.
photographing her since she was 5. Now she's 19. Xanthan. That's it. Xanthan is
Ah,
the powder. But and then Lewis, I'm gonna bring Lewis with me, so we'll have some really cool botanical garden shots with people, because Bokeh AI is human aware,
it's
and I
going to
want
be
to
epic.
show. Yes, I want to show. I want to see. I really want to push it to its limits. So next week is my week of having fun as a photographer. So, all
Wow,
right, guys,
that sounds
Kevin,
so great.
thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
You bet.
And I can't wait to see more of your coming in and co-hosting.
Count on it. Let's do
You
it.
got it. And everyone else, thank
Thanks,
you so
everyone.
much for joining us. And we'll see you at the next coffee break.